new artist who is just acting a fool, doing all the craziest shit, pulling up to people's neighborhoods.
Anybody ever try to take your chain?
Nah, if they try to take mine, they gonna die like that.
Off goes and does a diss record on you.
You ever heard it? You ever heard of Trouble?
Yeah.
You heard the Reddit song? He gonna remix. He dissed me. He dissed me so fast that his shit was hard. I'm like, damn, this shit bumping.
Something big is bubbling in Memphis right now, and it's got the whole hip-hop scene watching closely. What looks shiny on the outside is cracking underneath, and the pressure inside Yo Gotti CMG camp has officially spilled into the open. This didn't happen overnight either. This has been tension stacking up quietly, waiting for the wrong moment to explode. Now that moment is here, and it's threatening to tear apart bonds that were once unbreakable. What's unfolding inside one of Memphis's most powerful crews isn't just messy, it's layered with history, ego, and unresolved issues that never truly disappeared. This isn't random chatter or background noise. This is about loyalty being tested, pride getting in the way, and what happens when money and old grudges collide. Let's clear something up before rumors run too far. People online have been running wild trying to explain why Blac Youngsta suddenly wiped CMG from his bio and started calling himself independent.
It is kind of crazy to look back on it and think that you have Yo Gotti, who's traditionally always been pretty tight-lipped, pretty quiet about beef and everything, and then all of a sudden he's got this new artist who is just acting a fool, doing all the craziest shit, pulling up to people's neighborhoods, making Instagram videos, etc. All this stuff that you don't see anybody associated with CMG doing that stuff. You don't really see a lot of rappers besides like, more underground guys doing that type of shit in general these days, just because I think people are a little bit more aware of how much the cops are watching them on social media and everything.
But this situation isn't as simple as a contract switch or a business disagreement. There's way more behind the scenes than what's being posted. Just days ago, the entire CMG circle felt the shift in energy. Blac Youngsta, someone who stood 10 toes down with Yo Gotti for years, made a move nobody expected. This is the same artist who was front and center during the Young Dolph era of tension, and now he's sending cryptic messages that had the streets buzzing nonstop. And once Yo Gotti reacted, everything got louder. That's when people realized this wasn't just business. This was personal. These weren't just label partners. These were two guys who built side by side, faced pressure together, and once moved like family. Now this is where things start getting real uncomfortable. When the glue that once held a crew together starts wearing thin, the cracks don't show up overnight. They spread quietly from the inside. And with Blac Youngsta, people noticed a pattern long before this moment ever hit. Almost every year he makes headlines for the same move, scrubbing CMG from his bio and saying he's moving on independently. He even pulled something similar last year, right before Yo Gotti's birthday. Back then, it looked like a stunt, because he still popped out, celebrated, and played it off like nothing was wrong. But this time, nah, the vibe is completely different. The energy feels colder, sharper, and way less forgiving. The messages Blac Youngsta has been putting out lately don't sound like label frustration. They sound like someone fed up with fake loyalty and broken respect. He posted a heated statement basically saying that if people keep pushing him, he's willing to walk away from everything tied to them. He spoke on loss, pain, and standing on his own, no matter how heavy things get. That kind of intensity doesn't come from nowhere. That comes from someone who feels cornered, but refuses to fold.
Gotti was in the streets for real in Memphis, bro. Like, I ain't saying it because I'm saying to him. I just keep it real. If he wasn't a street nigga, I'd say he ain't a street nigga. He was in the streets, bro. Like, you gonna see Gotti. You in the city. The mall, I used to see Gotti in the mall, like the motherfucking hood mall, like super hood, like down there, like you ain't shopping, you just came here to walk around. Like, literally. Big ass chains on and shit. 100 motherfuckers with him. Chopper Glocks, all that shit. But, he cooled down a lot, bro. Like, Gotti was worse than me, probably, when he came in.
And here's where the situation takes a sharp turn. Not long after that, Blac Youngsta followed up with another post. And this one felt way more targeted. The tone shifted from emotional to direct, and that's when people realized this wasn't just frustration, it was personal. He called out certain figures for misleading the youth and pretending to be something they're not. Then he doubled down, saying he was done entertaining nonsense and wanted to lead by example instead. That one statement alone sent shockwaves through the culture. Why? Because in hip-hop, calling someone CB4 isn't just a joke, It's a serious jab. CB4 was a comedy film about artists faking a street image they never lived. So when Blac Youngsta used that comparison, people took it as him questioning authenticity at the highest level. And that's what made it hit harder than anything else. Yo Gotti's entire brand, from the boss talk to the empire image, has always been built around that persona. Even his name represents it. So when that image gets challenged publicly, especially by someone from inside the circle, it changes everything. That whole Gotti name was never random. It traces back to John Gotti, a well-known power figure whose name became synonymous with control, influence, and moving smart in dangerous spaces. Over the years, Yo Gotti has openly talked in interviews and lyrics about studying real-life power players and applying that mindset to business and music. So when Blac Youngsta went there, he wasn't just throwing shade, he was swinging straight at the heart of Yo Gotti's identity, image, and brand. And that kind of hit cuts deep. Then came the post that really made people stop scrolling. Blac Youngsta dropped a message blaming fake OGs, fake big homies, fake big brothers, fake CEOs, fake teachers, calling out people with titles who failed to guide others the right way. That wasn't subtle at all. What made it even heavier? At one point in his career, Blac Youngsta used those exact titles to describe Yo Gotti himself. So there was no confusion, no guessing, and no room to spin it differently. The message was loud, emotional, and aimed straight ahead. After that, the tension across the hip-hop scene felt like it snapped instantly. But Yo Gotti wasn't about to stay quiet. Instead of ranting online, he responded the calculated way. He posted 3 photos of himself with a short caption about being unbreakable, and then played the intro from Dynasty Intro by Jay-Z. And anyone who knows Gotti knows this: nothing he posts is accidental. That song choice wasn't background noise, it was a message.
Off goes and does a diss record on you.
You ever heard it? You ever heard of Trouble?
Yeah.
You heard the Reddit song? He on a remix. He dissed me. He dissed me so fast that his shit was hard. I'm like, damn, this shit bumping. I'm in the booth like, damn, this nigga just killed this motherfucker. So I gotta go in hard, fool, cause his verse, it wasn't, the diss one way. You know what I'm saying?
One of the lyrics references The Sopranos, a series built on power, loyalty, and survival under pressure. That comparison wasn't random. It was intentional. This was Gotti's response to being called fake, to being labeled CB4, and to having his boss image questioned. The message was clear. He sees himself as real, established, and solid under pressure. But the line that really sent people into a frenzy came later in the track, a lyric about nothing and no one standing between business and legacy. That moment made it feel like Gotti wasn't just replying. He was drawing a line and letting everyone know he's not backing off anything or anyone. The message behind all of this is clear. Yo Gotti is in full protection mode over everything he's built. This isn't about anything extreme. It's about mindset, control, and refusing to let cracks form in an empire that took years to construct. Right now, Gotti looks locked in, guarded, and fully prepared to defend his position no matter what gets thrown his way. But the biggest question people keep asking is simple. What actually lit the fuse this time? For years, Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta stood shoulder to shoulder through pressure, controversy, and public scrutiny. For things to reach this level, something serious had to happen behind closed doors, something that didn't stay in the studio or the boardroom. People close to the situation whisper that money, power, and pride may have all collided at once. No one is officially confirming anything yet, but the timing alone has people connecting dots fast. Some fans believe it started with internal business moves at CMG. Blac Youngsta stayed unusually quiet for months while Gotti shifted focus toward other artists like Glorilla, ESTG, and Moneybagg Yo. That silence didn't go unnoticed. To some, it looked like Blac Youngsta, one of the earliest faces tied to CMG's foundation, was being pushed to the side. And when someone who helped build the house starts feeling overlooked, emotions tend to boil over. Others say this goes deeper than business entirely. They believe this is about respect, and how loyalty starts feeling different once success changes the room. That theory gained more weight when social media activity added fuel to the tension. Blac Youngsta began engaging with posts about standing alone and cutting off fake energy, while Gotti kept posting luxury visuals with captions hinting that his table was already full. Those posts may seem small, but in hip-hop, nothing is accidental. Every like, every caption, every image sends a signal. Behind the scenes, there's quiet talk that mutual friends and business partners are trying to cool things down before the situation reaches a point of no return, especially with Memphis shining brighter than ever in the culture right now. Still, neither side has taken a step back publicly. Fans are watching closely, waiting to see if this gets handled like family, or if this marks the final split of one of Memphis's strongest alliances. And here's where things take a heavier turn. Some believe the real shift connects back to the Young Dolph situation. When a key figure once accused in that tragic case was cleared in court and walked free, it sent shockwaves through the city. That outcome changed the tone in Memphis and reshaped how people viewed everything tied to that chapter. What makes this even more intense is the fact that Blac Youngsta was always one of the most outspoken voices whenever Young Dolph's name came up. And that history may be playing a much bigger role in today's tension than anyone wants to admit. Even after Young Dolph was gone, Blac Youngsta didn't exactly move in silence. He went on to perform Shake Some at a Dallas club and later appeared in a music video filmed in a location that looked like a cemetery. What really set the internet off was a shot where he stood near a tombstone carrying the name Thornton, which many people quickly pointed out as Dolph's real last name. That moment caused instant backlash online. A lot of people felt it crossed a line, but Blac Youngsta didn't back down at all. He later spoke up and made it clear how he sees the world, saying he's not the type to sit around waiting for sympathy. He talked about growing up in South Memphis, where nobody hands you grace and you're expected to stand on your own no matter what. That mindset says a lot about how he views loyalty, survival, and strength. But from the outside looking in, many believe that was the exact moment when the relationship between Blac Youngsta and Yo Gotti really started to strain. Behind the scenes, it said that Gotti and the CMG camp didn't want Youngsta continuing to reference Dolph after everything that happened. Not just out of personal reasons, but because the city still held a lot of love for Dolph, and keeping the peace mattered for Memphis as a whole.
Why do they keep trying to make it a rap beef between you and Gotti, though?
If it's something about you I just don't respect, bro, I can't sit and fake and act like it's all good.
That's understandable.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, the first time I even met little dude, go in the studio. First time. He sent everybody out the studio. Like, let me holler at Dolph. Like, man, you got your own everything. You popping. Like, but you got the money, you got your team, you got this, you got that. Like, bro, I'm telling you, we can do this, we can do that. You ain't like Zilla. I ain't gotta hold your hand like Zilla. You ain't like Starlito. I ain't gotta hold your hand like Starlito. I ain't gotta babysit you like them. It's my first time meeting you. You gonna really sit and downplay your artist and throw your artist up on the bus to try to persuade me in to come over there? So it's like a red alert the first time I met him.
At that point, CMG's name was already being pulled into court discussions, which made everything even more sensitive. Things got even more uncomfortable when Yo Gotti's brother, Big Jook, was questioned by investigators during the case, even though he was never charged. So when Youngsta released that controversial visual, it put everyone in an awkward position. And when the one common rival disappears, history shows that crews don't always stay unified. Without that shared tension pointing outward, energy sometimes turns inward. In this situation, many people believe Dolph's absence created a shift that exposed unresolved issues between Blac Youngsta and Yo Gotti. That theory picked up steam again during recent court testimony. Cornelius Smith, one of the men connected to the Dolph case, took the stand as a key witness and made claims involving Big Jook allegedly putting money behind the situation. Whether those claims hold weight or not, the moment sparked heavy discussion and reopened questions about loyalty and trust within the circle. At the end of the day, this isn't just about two artists clashing online. It's about control, power, and what happens when someone feels like their voice is being boxed in. And this isn't new either. Years ago, Blac Youngsta even admitted in interviews that he and Yo Gotti didn't always see things the same way. Blac Youngsta has openly admitted before that he and Yo Gotti didn't always move in sync. According to him, they clashed because Gotti preferred structure, planning, and control, while Youngsta thrived on speed, emotion, and unpredictability. Two completely different mindsets trying to coexist under the same roof was never going to be easy. That contrast showed clearly when Blac Youngsta dropped his project Young and Reckless while still under CMG. Even the title felt like a statement. It quietly screamed independence, a way of saying he was going to be himself no matter who was calling the shots. That project alone highlighted how differently he saw himself compared to Gotti's polished executive-style image. Now fans are watching closely, worried about where this tension could head next. A lot of people are hoping both sides move smart and keep things calm, because Memphis doesn't need another major split inside one of its most powerful movements. The city has already seen how fast things can spiral when internal cracks turn public. One thing is clear, Gotti plays chess, not checkers. He's known for being calculated, connected, and extremely strategic. He moves more like a CEO than a rapper, choosing silence and timing over emotion. Meanwhile, Blac Youngsta has always worn his heart on his sleeve. He's outspoken, intense, and fearless about saying exactly how he feels. Now, if they can't find common ground, the fallout could get uncomfortable for everyone involved. A lot of people are saying Youngsta needs to tread carefully because Gotti is operating on a completely different level at this stage in his career. His influence stretches far beyond music, and when someone holds that kind of business power, every move around them carries weight. That's why many in Memphis are saying this situation feels strangely familiar. It reminds them of what happened years ago between Gotti and Young Dolph. Back in 2012, when Dolph was gaining serious momentum, he revealed that Gotti reached out with an offer to join CMG. According to Dolph, he turned it down, and that decision marked the start of tension between them. Dolph later explained that during the pitch, Gotti compared his own artist to Dolph in a way that felt disrespectful. To Dolph, it didn't feel genuine. It felt like division disguised as opportunity. That moment planted seeds that grew into a long, complicated rivalry, one that everyone now looks back on differently. Fast forward to today, and people can't help but notice similar patterns forming again. Blac Youngsta has been posting messages about fake love, shaky loyalty, and people pretending for too long. In one post, he made it clear he's fine standing alone and accepting that he trusted the wrong people at times. That doesn't sound like someone chasing drama. That sounds like someone who gave everything to a team and now feels like the same energy wasn't returned. And when that realization hits, relationships don't just change, they crack. When someone reaches a point where they feel deeply let down, especially after losing close friends and family along the way, their mindset changes completely. It's no longer about payback or proving anything. It becomes about having nothing left to fear. And when someone gets there, every move they make carries serious weight. But this situation stretches way beyond just Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta. At its core, this is about loyalty, respect, and what happens when trust starts cracking under pressure. It's about how quickly power dynamics shift once business money, pride, and outside voices start mixing into personal relationships. Hip-hop has seen this story play out too many times. What starts as family slowly turns into competition. Success changes rooms, opinions get louder, and egos start clashing. And let's be real, Memphis has already been through enough pain. The city has lost artists, leaders, and voices that meant everything to the culture, and nobody wants to see more negativity added to that history. A lot of people are hoping this energy turns into growth instead of more damage. For Yo Gotti, this moment is a real test of leadership. Does he step in, calm the situation, and restore balance inside CMG? Or does he let the tension keep building and risk everything he spent years putting together? And for Blac Youngsta, this moment defines legacy. Does he want to be remembered as someone who stood firm on principle and loyalty no matter the cost? Or as someone who allowed frustration to fracture a bond that played a major role in his rise? Because history has shown one thing clearly. When tension in Memphis reaches this level, it rarely fades quietly. Every post, every caption, every lyric has the power to shift the energy in a major way. That's exactly why people are watching this situation so closely right now. So what do you think? Is there still a path forward where both sides can fix this and bring peace back to CMG? Or has the line already been crossed too far to come back from? Now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let it be known where you stand on this whole situation. Do you think this tension gets resolved behind the scenes, or is this one of those moments that changes everything permanently? Speak on it! And if you've been locked in watching this drama unfold and want to stay ahead of what's really happening behind closed doors, make sure you show support. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update when new details surface. We're breaking down every move, every reaction, and every hidden message tied to what's shaking Memphis right now. Because in this game, nothing is ever random, and every post carries meaning. At the end of the day, loyalty matters, but knowing when to step back and protect your peace matters just as much. Sometimes the smartest move isn't pushing forward, it's walking away before things spiral too far. Pride fades, but peace lasts. Keep your head clear, move smart, and make sure you check out the next video popping up on your screen right now for even more celebrity drama. Because this story is far from over, and the next chapter could drop at any moment.